Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Nick Armenis here, and in today's video, I'm going to take you through my Q4 2024 e-commerce checklist. I wanted to do a video on this way earlier, but a lot of things happened. Anyway, we're doing it now. Basically, I'll run you through the checklist. You can actually download it. I'll leave a link below as well, and let's jump into it. I'll share my screen. Okay, so this is the checklist I've pulled together. This stuff is not stuff you tend to hear a lot about on YouTube. It's quite detailed, quite intricate, but I hope you enjoy it because this is literally what I do. The first thing people really need to focus on during key events, during Q4, and really any sale, is budget management. When I say budget management, is deciding when and how to spend the budget that's allocated to your event. So a lot of people will actually set budgets for particular events. Some people don't. But if you just have the same budget, it's okay, well, during the key event, if my conversion rate and everything's gonna be better, I probably wanna spend more money during that event. So another factor though is that making sure you have a high enough budget so that when you run your sale, you don't run out of money. Because you're in essence gonna be missing sales there, because if you'd had your budget set higher, you would have made more money. So during these key events, I highly suggest allocating more spend than normal during these events. And then if you're worried about it, you can spend less in other periods. But budget management is extremely important. So the first factor is making sure you have enough budget on those particular days. Otherwise, you'd be surprised just how many sales you're missing by not having enough budget on key days. And what you're going to want to do is, moving on to this next portion, is you're probably going to want to check it if you're spending quite a bit hourly, or at least several times a day. For most people, morning, midday, and then in the evening, they're good times to be checking. And then if you're spending a lot, hourly is probably what's going to be needed during those key times. But for a lot of you, hourly is probably completely overkill. On the flip side to having enough budget though, is we want to avoid overspending. And this is where, in my view, AI and machine learning is still not getting this portion right. So smart bidding is still, during key events, in my view, really not able to it's not able to fully recover and set bids correctly as compared to someone that's really watching it. What I find happens is, during these key events, it'll really overbid, particularly on brand and remarketing. And then it'll exhaust a lot of budget on those search terms if you haven't got segmentation correct. And what can happen is, post the event, Google will assume that you will keep spending the same amount and your sales will be doing really well, and it doesn't. And what happens is you overspend post the sale. And that's where you need to try and monitor this more detailed and more carefully, just to make sure that you don't overspend or underspend, or you're making sure that nothing weird's happening. So how do we do this? We tighten the T-ROAS. So if things are going really, really well, you could increase the target ROAS. And I tend to do that on a lot of campaigns, particularly things like remarketing. Brand, I don't use a ROAS, I'll manually set the bids. So potentially during those weeks, you might actually want to drop it, but you can watch it. Sometimes you need to increase it, sometimes you need to decrease it. And then, as I said, during post the event, just drop that budget, drop it a lot, because Google is going to keep spending like a drunken sailor, assuming it will continue, your sale will continue, and it just won't. And you will lose all that money that you made during the sale, post the sale, if you're not careful. Still make small budget adjustments, but during Q4, you can actually be more aggressive. Like I normally say 5 to 20%, but you really can be far more aggressive during Q4. I sometimes might do 50%, 100%, depends how things are going. Just make sure you're checking your sales regularly. So particularly if you're using Shopify or something like that, make sure you check that you're actually making sales and that money isn't just being wasted. And then another really key factor is Google will quite often, and correctly because that's how machine learning works, it will keep spending too much in a particular area and not in others. So sometimes you need to make a new campaign targeting a different city, a different state, whatever it might be, just
Do some analysis behind where is the money being spent. This happens on Meta as well. I find like once it finds somewhere doing well, it will just spend all the money there and it'll forget about everywhere else. So a really, really important thing is to make sure you're checking and getting into the numbers and working out where's it spending, and then can I segment this out better? Number two I want to cover off is bidding strategies. You want to carefully monitor your target ROAS bids during these times, and if you're finding that competition's too aggressive, you might need to lower it during these periods. So I said before, you might need to raise it. You may also need to lower it if it's just not spending, you're not making sales, your products aren't really getting seen. You might need to lower it, and then post the sale, increase that target ROAS so it doesn't overbid during that period. And then you really want to regularly adjust based on performance during this period. Most of the time I tell you don't do this. During this period you want to do it, and then make frequent small adjustments depending on performance. A really important factor during this time of year is daily checks for disapprovals of ads and products. There are scripts that can do this for you automatically. Those of you that are in my academy, I've given you those scripts from people out there. And the disapproval of a particular product in your merchant center, if it's your bestseller, can cause huge issues to your Google ads because it then has to re-optimize and find something else that will sell at the same rate, or it will try and then find other products that do well. If you have a spread of products, it's not as bad, but if you've got one bestseller that drives most of your sales, it can be really, really impactful. And then if you get like 100 or several products go, they get disapproved, it can be a big, big issue to your performance max, your shopping campaigns. It can really change how your account performs during this time. One thing I want you to focus on is focus on sales and profit. So analyze it at the top level as well. How is your profit going on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis? Analyze it very, very carefully during these periods, and try and put as much focus as you can on your higher margin products and products that drive average order value, have a higher average order value, but also, if possible, some repeat purchase things as well, if you have those as well. What you can also do is you can actually add your cost of goods sold, and if you have Shopify, that will flow into the feed. And if not, you can create a supplemental feed where you can add the cost of each product in there and feed it in here, and you can add it as a column in your ads, and you can see what is your profit on ad spend, and then you can focus on the products that are driving the most profit rather than just revenue. Again, I like also checking at a campaign level, ad group, asset group, as deep as you want to go. Check the average order value, and then also check revenue per visitor. Do this frequently, and you want to drive as much spend as you can into things that are driving average order value, driving revenue per visitor. Revenue per visitor is for every click person that came to your website, how much did you make? And then, incredibly important, is have your tracking sorted. If you want to use third-party tools like Hyros, Triple Whale, etc., you totally can. I find the gap for Google Ads in particular, it's not that big that I tend to find that I need those tools, but then again, I'm mainly dealing just with Google Ads, and that's the reason. If you do find there's big discrepancies, you may want to double check and use those tools. And then if you're using multiple advertising platforms like Meta, TikTok, you're going to want to use it so that you get a clear picture. Number 5 is stock levels. It's really important that you monitor stock levels, and if you have clients, talk to them and say, how is your stock on your best sellers? And then if you're going to run out of stock on your best sellers, what can be replaced? Can I get stock quicker? Are there alternative or substitute products that I could promote? These are the sort of things you want to do, and if you can speed up restocking, amazing. You want to do that, but if you find something that replaces it and it's at a lower profit, then expect a profit hit there. So these are the balancing things you can do to try and improve your profitability and not lose sales during these periods. So what's a really basic Q4 strategy? My next video will be a more detailed version of this, but It's very, very similar to my beginner strategy, but you want to set up a catch-all campaign, whether it's PMax or standard shopping or both. So recently there was a change to standard shopping, and PMax does no longer get prioritized all the time. So standard shopping is coming back in a big way. Then you want your branded search campaign. There are far more advanced things you can do, but as a bare minimum, this is your bare bones. If you want to get more technical, there are lots of things you can do, and I will do more stuff to show you, but in a given promotion, you can add as an asset your promo extension to search campaigns, and you can also add a promotion within the merchant center for your shopping campaigns and PMax. That's a really basic strategy. Now, a more advanced one, you could include a zombie SKU campaign for anything not being seen, a bestseller, PMax, or shopping for your top 10 to 20% of products, and that's where you want to put most of your budget. Then you could also do a PMax broken down by asset groups, by brands, collections, product type. You're really wanting to look at, you can also do it by price point as well, but you're wanting to look at how are people searching and how can I feed Google the correct data. You could do a broad search text campaign for more top and middle funnel traffic. You could try some search remarketing, although that's no longer working as well as it used to. Demand gen for a bit more top of funnel. You're not going to be able to spend huge amounts there, I find, and for most people, you're not going to want to. So demand gen, display, all of these are okay for remarketing. Demand gen is very hard just to remarket now, but that's where you want to focus first, and then you can move up, and if you have good creative, it can do well, particularly YouTube. YouTube can go really, really well, or it can do really, really badly and incinerate your money. It all comes down to the creative with YouTube and giving it enough time and budget to find new customers. So make sure you ensure that sales specific things like banners for display ads and YouTube ads promote these key events. Make sure you upload them well before the event, otherwise they're probably not going to get approved in time, and they just take a long time to get up and running. So make sure you do that early. Now, how do you handle actual promotions within Google Ads? Create a promo extension in the Merchant Center. I already said this. Create your promo extension in your Google Assets. Update your ad copy with sales specific wording, and then any new campaign that you do may be sales specific, the wording may be sales specific within that. So for example, Black Friday, 20% off sale, for example. And then make sure you add any of these sales specific assets, as I said, at least 48 hours before, ideally even better, and you can just set the start and end time within the campaign settings. Don't worry about this too much. I will do a more detailed video. So, and then we can introduce, scratch that. So another really important thing is, how do you introduce new and seasonal products into a Google ad account? So I like having the catch-all, and that works for some people, but if you're finding it's not working for you, or you're doing a lot of seasonal products, create a new campaign, and it's totally separate to everything you're doing. And you can either be a PMax or a standard shopping, I would say. You could do a search campaign as well if you want it as a separate thing, so two. And you want to add only the new products to this campaign and nothing else, right? You may even want to have the bids being a bit more aggressive there. So for example, you may not set a T-ROAS target for this, particularly at the start, so that Google can go and find and test things and get you some buyers. Then what you want to do is you want to cycle the products in and out. Once they get some data, some conversion, some clicks and that, you can remove them from that campaign and then add in anything new and just continuously flow that through, and then you can put those ones that you remove into your catch-all campaign or into another campaign. And you can just create this little cycle because the idea is we want to get spend to products that aren't normally being seen. Similar to how we deal with zombie SKUs. Now, that's how you handle new and seasonal products. Now, if you have a brick and mortar store, I have some clients that have brick and mortar and online presences as well. So what can you do to drive brick and mortar sales? So it's a really good strategy to drive people in, particularly once the order cutoff dates are finished for e-commerce. Because if you've got a physical store, one, your conversion rate at that store is going to be higher because you have better customer service. Two, people aren't going to be able to order the product online. So they're going to have to buy it from you. And if you sell it, give them a good service, you will do well. So it can be a really effective strategy to boost your online sales as well. So I would use a PMax or shopping campaign and add a radius around your physical location. Don't go too far, make it nice and small so that you get max effectiveness. Push most of the spend for this campaign into the period where order cutoffs would happen, right? So once order cutoffs happen for particular key events, you can push more spend during that time because the online advertisers aren't going to be able to service those customers as well as you. And then make sure your Google My Business listing is linked and that you have a conversion event for local directions to your premises. And if you have booking of consultations, if you do stuff like that for, book a viewing, book a consult, whatever, you can add that as an event as well. And then you could set up some local search campaigns with relevant keywords. So you could do something like bike shop near me. So electric scooters shop near me, things like that. And this can be a really effective strategy at driving more customers into your physical store. You could do things like YouTube and stuff like that, but this is not a nice basic strategy where you don't need video and stuff like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you want some Q4 help, just click the link below where we can potentially work together and apply, and look forward to putting more content out for you guys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one.